Hi, and welcome to the Magic Farm, and I'm going to go over a few commonly known weeds that you might not know have really great benefits. Some are for skin burns, anti-aging benefits, even like increase in like breast milk. I mean, and these are just weeds that are growing in our backyard that, for centuries cultures knew about this, but now that we have, a great medical field and stores, we can go buy stuff that we need for it. But sometimes not everybody has that access. Not everybody can afford it. Not everybody has the access to it. So my goal here is to just inform you that you may be able to access this yourself if you're willing to do the work and be patient to produce these products, because I'm going to, and I think that this is really neat to keep this culture going, not to discredit the medical world, because it's absolutely fascinating. And none of this stuff is a cure all, it is just a neat cultural aspect of gardening and what nature has to provide for us, and we should still be using it to this day because it's relevant. And so here we go. Okay, we're going to start with marigold. And marigold is also known as calendula. And marigold has a lot of really great um, healing aspects to it. For one, it is used in and around gardens. For one, a pollinator. The bright flowers attract bees and butterflies, which is what you're going to need in your garden to pollinate. And I don't know if you know anything about gardening, but if you don't have a pollinator around, then you have to get out there with your paintbrush and you have to pollinate stuff, because you have a male plant and a female plant, one flowers, and you've got to transfer the pollen in order to get any kind of yielding production of your vegetables. It's pretty interesting, but you don't need to know these things as long as you have bees. And we're kind of struggling with bees right now. So this is going to attract your bees. This is also going to create a shield around your crops as they're being pollinated from the bees that it attracts. It also attracts pests like your grasshoppers, your worms, and you're gonna, if you do any gardening, you know how pesky those are and invasive they are. Everything looks good and you're just real happy about your gardening, and the next thing you know, it's wiped out. Half of your stuff is gone because overnight it seems like they come in and get it. So you want to use these as a gardening, as a border around your garden. Um, Fun fact: the more you cut the flowers off of these, the quicker they grow back. They like getting their hair cut, per se. So it will grow back. And what you do when you cut these, you don't just discard them. You take them and you dry them out and you make salves out of them. This was something that they used in the medieval times. This is called the war plant, the war flower, because they would take this with them on the battlefield, because if there was any open wounds or anything like that, this has enough anti inflammatory properties to heal open wounds and keep it from getting infected. So, let me break down how you would use this and make your own balm. And it takes a little bit of time, so you have to be patient. But you don't spend much money on this, and you could make money if you wanted to sell it at a local farmer's market. So after you cut these off and you dry them in the sun for a few days, um, you'll put them in a clean glass jar and fill the jar up like so to cover all of your plant. You don't want anything hanging out because that can cause bacteria. So you want to make sure that it's fully submerged, not too much, just enough, because you want all the ingredients to absorb out into the oil and keep it a nice even ratio. Um, you want to get rid of all the air bubbles. Put the cap on, not too tight, and then put it up in a cabinet where it's dark and cool. Every couple of days, swish it around, and after about 4 to 6 weeks, it's the cure is complete. Then you're gonna want to get a cheesecloth, and you're gonna want to use the double boiling method. So lay the cheesecloth in the bowl, and then dump everything out into the bowl. Wrap the cheesecloth up and squeeze all the ingredient out, keeping the flowers out of the oil. Then you're going to want to heat that up with water underneath. You don't want to let the heat actually touch it. You want to just heat the water, let the water do the work and boil and heat up the oil. You're going to want to add 1 ounce of beeswax per cup of calendula oil. This is going to create a nice thick salve. If you want it to be a little bit more thicker, you can always add another ounce or 2 of beeswax. Before you let it cool completely, you're going to want to separate it in its containers. However you want to choose to do it, as long as it can seal properly. The shelf life on this is 6 to 12 months, depending on how you treat it. If you leave it out in the elements, of course, it's going to go bad sooner. Temperature changes can create bacteria, and if you're using uncleaned hands to dip into the salve, that can also create bacteria. So if you're doing it right, it can last up to a year, and this can make a lot, so you can give it to your friends and you can brag about how freaking cool you are for making this. Next, we're gonna talk about the milk thistle, which this is a really tall, invasive, spiny, thorny plant that can take over because of the way that it drops its seeds. And it's like a 2-year phase of life. So its first year is kind of like short, and then the second year it comes back strong and invasive, and that's whenever you really want to clip it and take it. This has been used for centuries for many things, and it's been used as like a preparation and protection and endurance. And it's not a cure-all or a fix overnighter, but it's like taking vitamins. So if you keep this in your diet and you use it, it's good for like prolonging the life of, you know, particular organs. It's known for its liver benefits, and many cultures have used it for that. It's also suggested that it's good for digestive issues, bloating, heartburn, anti-inflammatory, and not a lot of studies have been performed on this, but it is said to act as estrogen in the body. So there's certain people who don't want to take estrogen. If you're one of those people, I wouldn't suggest it. But it is also said to increase the flow of breast milk. So yes, this weed that we often kill in our backyard and think that it's invasive actually has a lot of really good properties to it, and it's getting more popular. So if you see this and you want to try it out, this is the way that you would harvest it. You're going to want to let it live out its life, and you're going to want to chop those off when they get to that, because that's when they start letting out their seeds. So once they get like this, you chop it. Make sure you wear gloves because it's spiny and thorny and spiky. I've done this before and it doesn't feel good. Then you want to put those in a burlap bag and shake them, and the shaking it is going to separate the fuzz from the seeds. The seeds are going to go down to the bottom of the bag, and at that point they're pretty easy to separate. If you want to store them in a cool, dark place as you would any seed, that's the way that you would do it. People use these seeds like flax seeds. You can sprinkle them in your salads, and you can boil them into tea, and you can grind them up and take them into capsules. You can actually buy milk thistle at the store in capsule form, and it says that it promotes liver health. But if you didn't know, now you know, because that's what the weed looks like, and they're all over the place where I'm at. So yeah, there is some great benefits to that weed that we often just kill. Now, this is probably like the one that I get most excited about, because this is Purslane, and this reminds me of my childhood and my grandma, because we used to munch on this together. Not only did we find it places, but she also like found it and replanted it and put it in pots, and we'd munch on it. And it has like a kind of a lemony tart taste. It's a succulent, so it's there's a lot of flavor to it, and the flowers kind of remind me of the way clovers taste. There's a similar taste there. But these things are absolutely packed with nutrients. Like if you were starving and you know, the world was in a really bad state, or, you know, all of our solar flares like shot out and stores were closing down or something like that, this is something that you definitely want to know about because you can survive on this. Okay, so it is uncommon for a land plant to be packed with omega 3, but this is packed with omega 3. This is something that you usually see in the ocean, and this is good for our brain and our heart. But it's here and it grows as a weed and it's on land and it's packed with omega 3. So that's good for brain function, that's good for heart function, and there is flavonoids, there is vitamin E and glutathione. This is fighting the free radicals in your body. That the free radicals are basically the things that speed up the aging process. So if you can fight those free radical cells, then it slows down the aging process, like all together as a whole in your body. And this little weed delivers that, and that's pretty amazing. It's also nutrient dense with potassium and magnesium. So this is like this little thing right here. You can eat it raw. You can throw it in your salad. You can cook it. You can throw it in a soup. It's got all the stuff in it. You're getting like almost like a full day's amount of vitamins and ingredients that's good for your body. Yeah, and it's just a weed, and people spray it and kill it because it's grown in the concrete, but they don't know that you can pluck this and eat it, and it's doing all this beneath the surface. I think it's absolutely amazing. And it also doubles as skincare because it has these free radical agents in it. You can turn it into a pulp and use it as skincare. You can make a spray, a toner spray, to just spray it on your skin. You can mix it with a little bit of vitamin E for shelf life. So this is what I would do. I would take it and I would blend it in 1 cup of Persilene, 1 cup of water, blend it into a smoothie basically. And you can add a little bit of white vinegar. You can squeeze a little bit of lemon to make it last longer. You can pour a little bit of vitamin E oil into it and keep it in the fridge. And you can put this on your skin in the morning, and at night it would be cold, and it would just help smooth the skin. And do this every day. Keeping it in the refrigerator is going to make it last longer, up to 10 days, but eventually it's going to be no good. But because it's a free growing weed that can be invasive, you can make this over and over again. So it's just really neat that you can eat it. You can put it on your skin. It's known for lightening skin spots. And here's a list of things that it can do. It's pretty amazing. And people are actually extracting this and making skincare based around this weed. Yeah, this weed that we kill and think that it's just like insignificant. There's literally like cosmetic lines based on this stuff. No joke. I mean, I just saw some at the parking lot the other day, and I was like, oh, there's Persilene. I don't want to pick it and eat it right there at the parking lot because you don't know what's happened to it, but you can certainly take it home, rinse it off, and repot it in your front garden bed, and it'll spread. It'll spread its ground coverage. So, yeah. Keep it at home and have your own skincare and have your own omega-3. You know, because I'm spending a lot of money on my omega-3, and I'm proud of my omega-3 because it really helps my memory. But I mean, in times of desperation, this can work as that. Isn't that fascinating? I'm super fascinated by that. Okay, so premature aging, fine lines and wrinkles, firming, anti-glycation, antioxidants, hydration, dry skin, collagen support, anti-inflammatory, radiance, luminosity, glow, barrier function repair, conditioning, brightening, hyperpigmentation, environmental damage, exfoliation, wound repair, scarring. Yeah, that's a lot. And you can simply collect it from your backyard and clean it and add equal parts Persilene to water. 1 cup Persilene, 1 cup water. blend it up and make a paste, and it's gonna look like that. And you can put it on your face like a mask, or you can add more water to it and maybe blend it up a little less to where it's just like soaking into the water, and do a spray toner. And this is gonna like be great for your skin. And you can eat it. So, I mean, this is amazing. I'm super excited about this weed. That's only a fraction of the information that I have to offer. I've got a lot of information to offer. And as I keep creating and pushing out these videos, I hope that I inspire you and open your mind to the magic that I see in the world and in nature. It's speaking ever so clearly all the time. We just have to know how to listen to it. So, I feel blessed being able to understand the nature's language. And my purpose is to share it, is to send it back to you, and hopefully you can benefit from it, because I think it's definitely worth trying out. And it's fun too. It always feels good to say, hey, I made this, or I grew this. Have a good day.